Once again, she was on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and I have her here on the Tasha Reid Show, Felicia Dietrich. Nice to meet you.
You too,
once again.
Yes.
It was a pleasure seeing you down at the Barack Obama salute. I really enjoyed your fashion show.
Thank you.
But I brought you on today because I wanted to find out a little bit more about you and get your story out to the people out there to be motivating and inspiring to them as well. Because I believe everybody has a story.
Yes.
From your everyday person to your celebrity, everybody's story is inspiring and motivating in some way. So that's the reason why I have you on the show today. I want you to share with our viewers some of the things you have been through, some of the things that have motivated you, some of the things that have inspired you to get you to where you are here today. So my first question is going to be to you. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a single parent, and my daughter, she's about to graduate with her bachelor's in visual communications. And I've been crocheting for about 30 years now, and what inspired me was my grandmother. She crocheted all the time, and I would watch her, and she would crochet at great speed. And I would go home and try to make something, and I would give it to my mom to give to her to critique it. And now I find myself crocheting with great speed like her, because if you was to videotape it and someone did, you really couldn't see what I was doing because I crochet so fast. But I love crocheting. It's a gift. I don't call it a talent, it's a gift, because after all these years, I still can't believe that I'm still crocheting. When I was 16, I dropped out of school, and when I was out of school, I started crocheting. Well, I've been crocheting since I was 12, but I crocheted and I would sew. And my mom saw this talent that I had, and she said, we have to do something with you. So she introduced me to one of her classmates she went to school with. Her name is Mary Buster. She sews, and I do sew, but my passion is crocheting. And I happened to go to her to show her some clothes that I sewed, and she saw a sweater that I had on, and she said, no. She said, you're not going to sew, you're going to crochet. This is what you're going to do. So she entered me in this organization called NAFED.
Okay.
And I was a junior member. Okay. And the junior members had never won any awards when they had the big conferences. Okay. And when I came, you know, they won. I won many awards. I won many trophies, and it's just really been a blessing.
Cool, cool, cool. You know, your story, you talked about you dropped out of high school. And there's some of our viewers that's out there that's probably done the same thing. I think that's motivating within itself, that you dropped out. You went back and got your GED, right?
Yes, I did. I went back to get my GED, and I took the test, I guess, about 5 or 6 times, fell asleep with the book studying. But every time I would go, I would pass one class and fail the next. And the next one, I would, you know, pass each one until I had one more test to take. And I passed, and it was a blessing. And I said I just wanted to keep going and be motivated, because I want to be an inspiration to others so that they can look up to me. Like, okay, she quit school, but she's not on the street. She's not doing anything with herself. But I decided I didn't want to be someone that's out here on the street. I want to show them that, okay, you made a mistake. Just pick yourself up and just keep on going and moving and become a better person and a better you.
I agree with you on that one. That's the reason why this whole show was inspired by me hearing other people's story. It's like it gives me that inspiration and that motivation. If you know how faith is about being unseen, right? Mm-hmm. For you to sit here, you are being seen. It's a possibility. Like Barack Obama, the salute to him physically being a president now, it was somewhat a dream before. But people didn't think it was possible for African American to become president. And now here we have it, a black president, African American president, yes. And now it's the scene. So that possibility has grown. So that's what the Tasha Reid Show is giving to people out there. They're giving that possibility of whatever you want to be. There's somebody out there that's probably watching the show that want to get into fashion or design, and you might have had some challenges or obstacles during that time period. Yes. What are some of the challenges and obstacles that you incurred, and how did you overcome that? Because some people out there the road is not going to be easy. You got to let them know that. this road is not going to be easy, but you will get there. So what were some of the challenges or obstacles you might have
But
came
sometimes
across?
when, my clothes wasn't selling, it became a little discouraging. Or when I do fashion shows, how, people would treat me because they would, as they say these days, they would hate on you. But like they say, let your haters be your motivators. So when someone doesn't like what I'm doing, they say, okay, I must have something good. So it's something about me that maybe they want. But when I see someone that's doing something, even someone better than me, because I know I'm not the only one that crochets, but I like competition because it makes me try harder and be a better person. So I don't, I don't hate on them or knock them, because I give all props. But this is me. What God has for me is for me. So God will make room for my gift and anybody else's gift.
What would be the most motivating experience you done had in your career? Like, what was the most motivating that put you over the top to say, I'm going to make it?
Well, one thing I like to do is to speak things into existence. And about a year before I went to the Oprah show, I was telling everybody, I'm going on Oprah. They were like, when? I said, I don't know, but I'm going on her show. So a year later, I kept calling for a whole year to get tickets to her show. And the line was busy. Still wasn't discouraged. I said, I'm going to keep on trying. So one day, I called and I got through. And I was like, oh, I don't believe this. So they gave me tickets, and my models and I, we went to Oprah, but they didn't believe me because I'm a practical joker. And it was April Fool's, of course, and they thought I was joking with them, but they realized that I was telling the truth. We flew to Oprah, and it was wonderful. When she came out in the audience, she looked our way and smiled. I was like, yes, we here. So during the commercial break, she had the cameraman to take the camera over to us, and she brought me up and interviewed me. And I made her Oprah's suit on the way to Chicago. And by the time the models woke up in the morning, 5 o'clock, the suit was done. It was in the garment bag, ready to go. And she loved the suit. She sent me a letter thanking me for her suit, and she did wear it on one of her shows.
That's great. That's great. I love to hear that story. It's funny you just said you kind of like speak things into existence, because I firmly believe in that. It's like affirmations, So this whole show is kind of like what you're talking about and how it came about. I've been speaking about it, talking about it, and here we are, So I totally agree with that. And for our viewers out there, that's a tip from Tasha. There's life and death in the tongue. You speak things into your life. You understand? So that being said, be careful of what comes out of your mouth. Be conscious of what you're saying and what you're believing in, because it will manifest. Okay. Okay. So what would be your definition of motivation?
My definition of motivation is a role model. And the reason why I say that, because if you have a role model or someone that you inspire to be, or something that you want to do, you clench onto them, look at them, study them, and just want to be just like them. I mean, everybody can be themselves, but just like I look to Versace or Yves Saint Laurent, I love his clothes. And I watch a lot of the old movies, the vintage movies, and I realized that sometimes I would sketch something, I make it, then I'll go look at the movie, I'm like, wow, this is almost exactly what I made, but it had a twist to it. But that's my motivation. And just